even some top religious leader, I've just read in the news a few days ago, I said, what? Cannot he see the truth? No, looks like they're all blind. And the top politicians, some of them, I thought, my God, how come they don't see anything? How come they talk like that? I'm astounded these days. Seems like everybody has become blindfolded. All of a sudden. Truly like that. You read some of the news. Maybe I did not even collect that because I just shook my head. I said, my God, why did he say such things? Cannot he see it? No, it's like they are blind. Like the whole flock of sheep or something together, all blind together. He's kind of one of the top religious leaders. And he's criticizing President Trump, for example, but he didn't mention the name, of course. But it's completely illogical, completely opposite of the truth. And I was so surprised. I know many of them are not enlightened. But the thing he said is worse than... It's just like some of those politicians outside, without seeing anything correctly. Like suddenly they're all blindfolded together. Oh my God. I just was so surprised, so shocked. It's truly the time of demons that they have to do all this and testing everybody. See, you must have faith strong. Otherwise you'll be blind, deaf and dumb as well. Just like Adam, hey? Yes. Yeah. Born from God, made by God, lived next to God, and still fell. And then God gave a second chance, come back, and attracted to the diamond. God. And thinking the diamond can help him survive all his life, he doesn't have to do anything. Once you're out of Eden, you're like everyone else. You have to sweat to earn a living. You have to fight with the negative influence outside, if you could even fight. In Vietnam, we say a strong tiger could not defeat the whole a pack of wolves. A tiger is supposed to be the king of the jungle, but he's alone, even though he's the best, the strongest. He cannot defeat the whole pack of wolves. That is similar to our world like that. If you stay with the same-minded community, do the same thing, have the same ideal, look in the same direction, then you're stronger. If you're out, then it's different. Okay? Yes. All right, now we go back to... I promise, I'm coming back now, okay? And we left the Eden for too long already. We can't come back, but we can talk about it. We can be like homesick about it. Okay, now here. In the beginning, when Adam first had been driven out of Eden, he and Eve could not get used to the new and also very harsh kind of life. Yeah, now they have to plant vegetables, they have to plant fruits, they have to pluck the fruits, they have to harvest the vegetables, etc., etc. Yeah, God has ordained that. So they were very, 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 very miserable. It was very harsh for them, very hard work, hard life. In the Bible, it doesn't mention this kind of situation. But we humans can understand, can imagine that, right? Yes. We humans, we live day to day with this kind of hard life. We still cannot bear sometimes. Not to talk about the holy beings like Adam and Eve, made from God's hand, used to paradise. Everything they want, they just have. Except that apple, of course. Except the apple in the middle of the garden, don't touch it. Yeah, then they have to. Typical humans, no? Whatever you're told not to do, you want to try. Even though you know it's bad. It's just the ego. But this is also fine. Suppose if you have some urge inside you, some inventive kind of surge that develops within you, and you just want to do it, you want to try it, then it's okay. Otherwise, I think humans will not develop so many things like what we do nowadays, what we have done, inventing many things and going to the moon, going to Mars, even though it's a hard and almost an impossible dream. Before, nobody could dream of going to the moon and all that. Now they're going to Mars and then Venus next. They want to see if really there's life on Venus. Much evidence points to it. Maybe they could find it. Venus! Martian, they're coming to get you. You better prepare the vaccines. Okay? Any vaccine, all the vaccines. They have all kinds of diseases on this planet that you have never heard of. You better be prepared. If they go there, they will find you. Good luck. I'm worried for them, truly. Yes. I'm worried. Knowing us, knowing the humans, how they are, I'm worried so much for them. All right, good luck. Pray, you, Venus, and Mars people. So we, the humans, will surely know the hardship and the feeling of desperation and misery from Adam and Eve when they were first kicked out of Eden and had to become normal beings and had to get used to the hard life. In here, the book says that even though the Bible doesn't mention about the hardship that Adam and Eve had to endure, but humans would understand, would imagine, would know it. Because many places in the Bible, for example, that have been edited, deleted, and have been filled with other stories.
Yes, Master.
Like ancient stories or folklore or people stories or just fiction or something that you cannot even believe in. So this is one of the stories that we cannot, it's from the book, okay? One of the stories that we cannot confirm, we cannot prove, but is circulated since 1,000 years, like this. After being driven out of Eden, Adam and Eve built a little hut, and both of them contemplated for 7 days, non-stop, to repent for their sin that they have committed and the mistake that they had done. After that, after 7 days, Adam stood up and went all over for 7 more days looking for food. In Eden, he didn't have to do this. You see, there's a big difference. In this time, I think they have not done the farming yet. They have just been out of Eden, and they sit there 7 days long, repenting, regretting, and praying. And then after 7 days, probably hungry, The retreat's over hungry. So he went all over looking for food. He had not found anything to eat because his main profession before, and it's probably the first ever profession, occupation of all humans, is gardening. So he found only dry hay and dry grass, which are reserved normally for animals. So he suggested to Eve that both of them have to do more penance, more repentance, and hope that God will forgive them one more time. For Eve herself, she went into the middle of the Tigris River. She stood on top of a rock, and the water rose up to her neck. She stood there, not speaking anything, for 37 days.
Wow.
This is the legend, that circulated since thousands plus years. And Adam also stood like her, but in the middle of the Jordan River, of both the different rivers, for 40 days long. On the 38th day, Eve saw Satan and was cheated by him, deluded by him again. Satan manifested himself into a being like an angel, and Satan came and begged Eve to come with him up to the bank of the river, and then he will find something for her to eat. Eve could not withstand her hunger, so she left the water, went to the bank. And at that time, she immediately realized that this was Satan. No. Eve went up to the riverbank. But at that time, Adam realized recognized that this real entity was Satan. So he yelled at Eve. He yelled loud at her. He said, "How can you let yourself be fooled by our enemy one more time, huh?" So Eve could not withstand this mistake again. She could not feel comfortable again. She felt very, very bad, sinful, guilty about this second fall by temptation. So painful. She felt so painful, so guilty, so bad, so bad. So she fainted, fell down on the ground.
Oh.
Poor Eve. She's only a woman, weak. Physically also, yeah? Physically, women are weaker than men and smaller, the size, always the same. But I wonder why God made a woman from a man's rib. I wonder how big is the rib? Even if we are small, but how big is Adam's rib?
Yeah.
Adam must be like 100 foot tall. Yeah. And his rib must be your size, or my size at least, yeah? I'm small, but this is a big rib. I'm a big rib. So I wonder all this story. Yeah, but of course with God everything is possible.
Yes.
I have to look into camera again. I keep looking at you guys. You're so attractive, my God. No wonder I'm sitting here, not in Eden. All your fault. Okay, now. And you're all wearing masks. Imagine if you don't. Huh? Yeah. That's because you're vegan, huh? People cannot take their eyes off you, right?
Yeah.
That's what the animals told us every day, no?
Yeah.
On our TV. So now Eva felt absolutely like rubbish inside, rotten and so guilty, so she fainted on the ground. At that time, Satan, the king of devils, told Adam, "Because of you, I was expelled from heaven." Satan, this is one of the fallen angels, I guess, yes?
Wow.
So he accused Adam. He said, "Because of you," because Adam is human, one of the humans. It's because of you I'm expelled from the garden. When your form had been just created, I was kicked out of paradise, out of the sight of the holy face of God. And then I was also dismissed from all the angels' company, yeah, from all the angels' unit, yes. So after Adam heard that, he begged God to please place this enemy far, 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 far away from him. Because this enemy has always wanted to ruin, to destroy his soul and his purity. After that, Satan became invisible and disappeared out of sight of the humans. And then Adam ends the period of repentance and begins new life with his wife, Eva, of course. Okay. So, end of the story. Thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you all who collect all these stories for us. It's amusing, at least, yeah?
Yes.
Even if it's not true. But it could be true. It sounds very familiar to us, right? Yes. And many of our brothers and sisters are also falling, going back out again to fight with the whole world to survive. For survival only, yes. What else? What else is out there? What else is out there except just fighting for survival? Maybe you have a flashy car and you have only a golf cart to run around. Maybe they have the one who went out have a flashy car and you have a flashy golf cart. Maybe they will now eat fancy food and you eat whatever is cooked for you. Sometimes fancy, sometimes not. Yeah. But I have to tell you, when you give me some of this food, food show, yeah, like in Paris, vegan bakery shop.
Yes.
Oh my God. I'm not sure how tempted Adam felt when he saw that apple. But I can tell you, I was very, very, very tempted when I saw all those cakes and bakeries and, oh my God, all sizes, all shapes, all color, all my favorites when I was in Paris. And I really, truly wish. I remember the host asked, "Oh, don't you wish that you could live near there?" I said, I do. Oh, man. Yes. No wonder we have so many apples, because once he tasted it, he will remember forever. So he kept planting apples. We have a lot of apples. Yes. And also invoke in you something. Yeah, these kind of sensual pleasure feelings. So don't eat a lot of them. The kitchen gives you a lot, huh? Apple, right?
Yes.
It's okay. You eat with many other things, so maybe okay. The problem is that maybe Adam ate only that apple that day. He should have eaten it with like organic brown rice or Loving Hood made protein and stuff like that. Then maybe it's not so concentrated, huh? It could dilute it. It would probably have less problems. Any questions? Anything you want to tell me about this story?
Yes, Master.
Tell me. Wow, nice clothes for New Year. Nice. Don't kneel, it hurt your knees. Yeah,
okay.
Just sit. Is the floor clean? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, sit please. Yes.
For the origin of life stories, in previous lectures, Master talked about the Buddhist stories where we were ethereal beings, we were invisible, and then we slowly drank the ocean and ate the foam of the ocean and became more materialized. And then became humans. How does the story of Adam and Eve work into that?
I wasn't there, baby. I guess similar, hi? I guess it's similar. The Buddha story was that we were originated from Brahman heaven, the third heaven even, very high. And then we came down. Originally, we can fly. We are light. We are not heavy and solid like this now. We can fly anywhere, and we can do anything, go anywhere that we want. In the beginning, this world was empty. There was nobody. One of the Brahmins saw the throne is ready but empty for a leader. So he went down. He sat on the throne. But to be a king alone is very, very boring. So he needs some more company to be his subject, to rule, to feel important. Thus, slowly, he attracts others, tell them to come together, okay? Originally, everyone is like heavenly beings because we came from heaven. Third heaven is very big deal already. Many people, many monks or priests, they practice all their life very, very ascetically. Still could not even reach that unless you have a real method. Because the method, the real self, has nothing to do with all the material things. So if you punish yourself or if you do too much asceticism, deny yourself many of the material pleasure, it has nothing to do with the soul. The soul doesn't even need anything like that. Only if you go inside and be yourself again, be the soul again, and disconnect with this body. That is then when you recognize yourself, and then have more power, and then you can go to heavens, because the soul will understand where to go. Not the body, not the mind, yes. In the beginning, even though we also have other kind of bodies, but the third heaven body, not the causal body, not the astral body even, the Brahmic body, very, very big shot already. Then come down, everybody has fun. They saw things on earth, they wanted to try. Originally, they saw some form, some kind of form, probably not just form, but maybe some kind of jelly, something that manifested by the water, yeah, and then they just eat that and feel it's good, and continue eating. Perhaps those, in the beginning, there's some sea beings, sea materials, yeah, just like maybe seaweed or something, but it wasn't so solid like the seaweed that we have now. Probably in some kind of transparent form, or very tasty, delicious, or because the body of the Brahmic being never tasted any such thing, so when he tasted it first time, it felt so good. But then they continued to eat. They told each other, hey, try that, for fun. Because they had nothing to do. Imagine, you have everything, all the power. You can fly everywhere, you can manifest things, you can read each other's minds, you have no hindrance, because your body is almost like ether. And then you are bored.
Yes.
Yeah? I guess that's why the angels fell. Because too bored, too good. Everything is so smooth, so easy. Whatever they wanted to do, it's just simple. Whatever they wanted to have, at the blink of an eye, they have it. So maybe too boring. Yeah, more boring. And that was the reason also this was what created in another kind of legend, that one practitioner stood on one leg for many cow baths to worship God, so that he can have a boon. And then God gave him a boon. Say, what do you want? And he said he wanted to create a world in which he rules, because the world that you created is too, not just boring, but too regular, yeah? Nothing interesting, nothing striking. So he wanted to create a world in which he rules. So God promised already, and then he created the world like this. Okay, right now. So maybe that's why the heavenly beings, they came down. Some of them, they fell, because they wanted to have something different. Yes. There's another story, like one of the saints going up to heaven, he saw some people staying together in one very dark place full of smoke and toxic kind of air and dim light and all that. They stay there and playing cards together and drinking wine or alcohol and stuff. So the saint took pity on them and said, oh, why don't you follow me? And then I can take you to heaven. Okay, in the beginning they said, okay, why not? We can try. It feels like it's good. Then they went to heaven and they cannot play cards there because people don't do it there. And after a while, they feel bored. They want to go back into that dark and filthy, smoke-filled and toxic place just to sit there and play cards together. Habits die hard. Yeah, that's what we say. So that's why not always people like heaven, eh? But after, if they, it's just a legend, it's just a story, you know. It doesn't mean it's always like that. But it could be true, you know, because look, many people, I saw in Malaysia when I was there for a lecture tour, in some of my beginning lecture tours, I saw some big high buildings, not very high, but many story buildings. It's all empty. And opposite side of that, under some trees, there are some shabby, it's simple hut and house, small hut. People live in there. I said, oh, what a contrast. One of the disciples told me in a taxi or something. He said, oh, the government built those high rises for them, for the people who live in these shabby houses. But they didn't want to go up there. They want to continue to live where they do. Yeah. Habit. They feel more homey there. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I guess it's like me. They do build some houses for me, but I prefer to stay in the small hut or cave, or whatever is available. Only when nothing is available, then I live in big house. I don't like it too much. I don't like to ask people to help me clean all the time. But the big house, you must clean. I like cleanliness. And if a big house and I don't want people to come cleaning, then I have to clean. I feel better in the smaller house. And especially when I have a lot of work to do, then I can concentrate better because I don't need to worry too much about cleaning the house. It takes only 2 minutes to clean a little hut or maybe a tent or a cave. They do build some houses for me, but I prefer to stay in the small hut or cave, you know, whatever is available. Only when nothing is available, then I live in a big house. I don't like it too much. I don't like to ask people to help me clean all the time. But the big house, you must clean. I like cleanliness. If a big house and I don't want people to come cleaning, then I have to clean. I feel better in the smaller house. And especially when I have a lot of work to do, then I can concentrate better because I don't need to worry too much about cleaning the house. It takes only 2 minutes to clean a little hut or maybe a tent or a cave. It takes hours, at least 1 hour, 2 hours to clean the big house, like the house that I had that they built for me. Yes, I never lived in that house. I told you before I did not. Just for a while before I have the cave built. I lived there for a while, but I never liked. And it's after the cave was built. Before that, I lived in the tent, and they took the tent away. They demolished all the grass and the flowers that's natural around me, and I came back. I don't have anything. Then they built a big house for me. Only the 2-story building, but threatened to even build an escalator or so. I was laughing. So I stayed there for a while, and then after the cave was built, I moved to that cave, and I never came out. I never wanted to go to that house. Unless sometimes when some people have to come, and then my cave is too small. So I went there just for a meeting, and then went back to my cave. Only after I came back, the first time came back after 10 more years, then the dogs are coming, so I had to use that house for dogs also. But now, because I don't have dogs living around, I need to work a lot and meditate intensively on retreat, so I choose a small place again, which is very good. It's getting smaller all the time. It's happier for me. I don't have to spend a lot of time for labor work. And I'm happy in it because everything is nearby. I don't have to go far to search for things and forget where it is. Here, I cannot forget anything. It's right there. It's always around. For example, I use my bed for like a makeup table, and I use these plastic boxes with the opening on the side. I use them to put under one piece of wood. Then that is a bed. And because that is a bed, and I can open and put my things in it. So if I put a sofa, then there's no room underneath. There's a different place you have to organize differently. And I also put a couple of these plastic boxes, these organized boxes, but with the opening on one side instead of open on top. So it's like a drawer. I put a piece of wood on it, and that's just my table. That's a desk from which I'm talking to you right now. Wow. It functions just the same. And I have room, I have drawers down below it to put my things inside. So if I want to reach for a book, it's right there. Open, take it out. It saves a lot of space. I don't need a bigger place. I don't need a big house. If a big house, then you have different stuff, like you have a big sofa in it, and you have a big desk. But if you don't have room, then you put, drawers underneath, and you lay on top, or you work on top. Depends. It's the same. It's functioning. You saw me one time when you went together with me to my cave in New Land, remember?
Yes.
I have one, those steps they make the plastic to step on, but it's like a chair also. Because it's short and it's just a few steps for you to maybe climb to the shelf to take some books or something. It's not a serious kind of a ladder, no? And I worked on that as my desk. I use that also to climb into my tent. My tent is on the higher platform. Those platforms, they made them before. Not that I made it. They made them before. The old ex-owner, they put statues on it because there was like a resort. People came to have fun and to bow to Buddha statues and all that. After they sold, they removed all the statues away, and I occupy. My tent is kind of high for me. So if I put the circle steps next to it, I can step and go to my tent on the high level there, high platform there. Then when I don't need it, I take it out, use it as a desk. It functions. It's all the same.
Yeah.
You still can work on it. Yes. The things are only good if they function.
Yes, Master.
So it doesn't matter. One of you criticize, say, oh, we have a better desk. I say, no. Remember? One of your brothers keep looking at it. I say, what are you looking at? Somebody doesn't like my desk. He say, yeah, we have better desks or something. I said, never mind, it works. You know, it functions as a desk. It's the same. Did I answer your question? Means, what was it? Did I say? How come it takes so? I went all over the place. They eat these kind of things because it's material things. It contains in earth materials like something from the earth, yeah, has soil substance in it and water substance in it. In the Brahman heaven, you don't know these things because it's a different world. So when they saw it, they're curious, flying around all day doing nothing, also bored. So they tasted it and strange, you know, strange, it tastes good. Continue eating. After the form is no more, or they see all the crawling plants, crawling fruit, they begin to taste them also. The more they ate, the more solid they became, more heavy. They cannot fly anymore. And you know what they look like. Yeah, look at me, then you know. Or look at your neighbors, yes. Probably we have eaten a lot. We still do, right? So that is that. Then in the beginning, according to that Buddha story, later on they have nothing more interesting. They pray and then God gives them rice. In the beginning, there's a big grain of rice. Then it was rolled to each house every day. Everybody can take what they need. And it was rolled to the next. But later they keep eating, then it's not enough, so they wanted to plant them so that they will have a lot. So here we are, okay? Now we have a lot of cereals, yeah? Different types. In the beginning, and then afterwards, they organize it, they plant it, and then they put all in one store. Anybody who needs just goes there and gets. Later on, people are lazy, don't want to go to get even. They go one time and they take a lot. Everybody goes at one time, take a lot, so others come later, don't have. And then begins this conflict because of food. Yeah, we have nowadays still. Then they have to have somebody, vote somebody to settle the dispute, you know, see who is what, did what, why. That's how police came into being, government came into existence. And that's how we have a mess nowadays. It comes from food. It still does. We have any kind of government, we have to bear it. And sometimes we protest, sometimes we have to accept it. We have done it all ourselves. Okay? We have done to us all this trouble because of food. So that was that Buddha story. But what was your question? Can you refresh it?
Well, I was wondering if, like, Adam and Eve, how do they work into that Buddha story? Were they like one of those third level beings that came down?
Perhaps. I did not ask him, but perhaps. It's similar, yeah? Maybe it's a similar story. Adam and Eve, later, they probably have to plant their own food. Maybe in the beginning, God took pity and then give them some. Like the rice that was rolled to their house. Originally, we don't have physical contact with each other or anything. But because they're women and men, and then suddenly they eat, and they became more desirous of other things. Like the body changed, and the hormones changed, DNA changed, their attitude changed, their mind changed, their thoughts changed. Then they desire each other. And they couple with each other, and then other people who did not do it yet say, oh, how come, what are they doing? Why are they doing that? oh, this is not very good looking, it's not dignified. So they're hiding. They find caves to hide, or if they don't have, then they begin to build houses. That's how they live together, and then have houses, and they're comfortable. They don't want to go to take food from the store anymore. They just take a lot so that it will last for a long time. So they don't have to go every day. Everybody does that. They copy each other. Slowly, we have man and woman, and then we have this physical connection, and we have the babies, and then humans just keep coming, and this is how our world manifested. I guess Adam and Eve, in the beginning, also similar like that. Maybe they found anything to eat. Maybe leaves or fruit, anything. Slowly, if they discover, if they walk around, they probably find something, and then they will try. Yeah, and then they will probably plant more of that if they like it for the future. Or maybe they eat and then they just throw the seed out and then they grow more. Some trees are so easy. The fruit just falls on the ground and they become trees so quickly. In one of the places where I lived before, they plant some, they call it Hai Ping Guo, meaning sea apple. The fruit, I was told, is poisonous, you cannot eat. I don't see any other things eat it either. It keeps falling from the tree, and they grow all over around the tree. You know, if you don't cut them and don't take them away, there will be a jungle in no time. They just grow like that. Just fall on the ground, and the flesh and the skin becomes rotten after a while, and then they just grow up so fast. Many trees and plants, they grow so fast like that, right? Yes. So that's how things are developed. And from our desires, things come more. The more we desire, the more we are entangled with our desired object. Then we get more and more solid, more and more connected with this earth, which is heavier than the light and the original vibration of heavens. So now, the quantum method is the one that you can see the light again. You can connect yourself back to the vibration, original vibration. That's how gradually, eventually, you will realize that you're not the body. You go back to the source. Because the more you eat before, the more we recognize this body as us. That's what we say. We say, I do this, I do that. I am hungry. The body is hungry, not you. Yes, that is the thing. I don't know if I answer your question correctly, okay or not?
Yes, Master. Thank you, Master.
You happy? Yes.
Yes, Master. Thank you.
I guess the Buddha lived in India, okay? And Adam lived in, I would say Egypt or somewhere. The Tigris or Jordan River, where is that? Somewhere in the Middle East, right?
Maybe Iraq.
Arab? Yeah, somewhere in the Arab area, yeah?
Yes.
So maybe all the stories travel to different landscape and become modified a little bit, okay? So I guess that is similar. Maybe it's just one story, but explained in different ways, more graphically in different situations. Okay, yeah?
Yes, Master. Thank you.
I guess that's what it was. All right. Any other questions? You didn't think of it before, huh?
Master, you mentioned before that some planets have evolved to merge with AI. And also on our planet at the moment, we're heading towards more advanced robotics, and they're talking about merging even humans with AI so we can live longer. And
Oh, yes.
is this moving away from God's will, or is it okay to do that?
It's not okay. It's not okay. They are already planting chips in some monkeys.
Yes.
And they're kind of thinking of planting chips in humans' brain or in humans' body, maybe with some substances or elements to strengthen you or to make you more intelligent. I'm not sure. This is uncharted waters, okay?
Okay, Master. Have other planets had experience where maybe they destroyed themselves by going too far in that direction, away
Yeah.
from God?
Possible that we stray from nature. But what can we do? Humans are like that. They have to experiment with things, even though sometimes it's catastrophic. But they don't know it until it's catastrophic. You see, we experience many things, and then we make like atom bombs.
Yeah.
And now many of the strong countries have atom bomb or H bomb, whatever you call that. And whatever that is a bomb, is destructive and is explosive. It's very difficult to get rid of them because everybody has it, so nobody wants to kind of get rid of them because they worry that if you get rid of the atom bomb or you don't make one, then the neighbor stronger than you will take advantage of your weakness, etc. So this is a kind of very dangerous development. But humans, they are doing this all the time. One way or another, they will probably try to experiment with something. They already are doing it. It's just maybe in some corner, or maybe military, or maybe some secret laboratory beyond our eyesight. They don't want to let the public know yet. Many things they have developed, they use it only for military, some secret agent stuff. Whatever. What can we do? Cannot stop them. I don't know if we live longer with that. And if we do, what kind of humans will we become? It's uncharted waters yet. But some people just have to develop it or experience it. So we just have to wait and see. Huh?
Okay, thank you, Master.
Or don't ever see. So there may be always some kind of experiments going on all the time in the human's world, which is good in a way. Otherwise, we would not be able to talk like this now.
Yes, Master.
Without some experimentation or trying the unknown, we would not develop this and that physical technology to make life more comfortable. But sometimes too comfortable and not too natural anymore. Then we just greedy for more and more stuff and don't know where we're going. And the moral standard keeps going lower. That is the problem.
Yes.
If it goes together with the development, then it's easier to control. But if people just develop like AI and without any source of moral and limit control of the actions, of the consequences, then it could be not very safe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So wisdom has to go with love also. Yes. And moral, otherwise it could be dangerous. Yeah, look at the atom bomb.
Yes.
And now not only we can't get rid of it, other countries also are trying to develop it to be as strong as the neighbors for security or just for showing off. Whatever reason, is not safe.
Yes, Master.
Just a button or just some mechanism, and then one country maybe boom, done, gone. Or the world even. Or most of the world, or half of it, or some quarter of it. It's a very dangerous situation that we're living in. It's on edge. It's edgy. Luckily, nothing yet happened like that. But there is always the possibility. Huh? Okay? Nowadays, we develop too much into the wrong direction. So that's why any country has to buy some weapons from a stronger country or develop more because other countries may be too strong and it might swallow this country up and all that. So your question is also a very good question. But I don't know how to control that. I can't. The humans, they just do all kinds of, they have to try all kinds of things. Until maybe it all blows up in our face, like Atlantis and Lemuria.
Yes, Master.
Sometimes people come across, they dig out some big cities buried under the earth. Could be one of those accidents where the whole city was destroyed, ruined, kaput, and go to the sea or either buried underground. Some of these bomb accidents, some chemical things went wrong. Some experiments did not succeed. And now we're still doing it. So what to do? Just take care of yourself. Practice, meditate. In case you have to go that way, we have somewhere to go. Okay?
Yes, Master.
Yes, Master.
That's it. That's the main point. Any more questions, love?
Master mentioned about the Martians. and Mars was destroyed due to meat eating and as such, and some survived. So does that mean they are more spiritual now, the underground Martians?
Yeah. A little bit more. Like fourth level.
Wow.
They have a master, your fourth level master. So some are third, some are fourth level down there.
Yes, Master.
They have very limited resources. So they eat only almost recycling things and eat very little.
Do they have the technology to hide themselves like the underground Earthlings here?
You mean bunker stuff?
To hide themselves from
From the Earthlings?
Earth people that would come?
I'm not sure, baby. I have to ask them. And I'm not sure if we can hide anything from humans. I mean, in the long run.
Yes, Master.
They're very curious, very stubborn, and very strong-willed. Or maybe Martians don't want to hide. Or maybe they don't have enough technology to hide. Because after their world was ruined, there are very little elements or materials left. So they live frugally and simply. Oh, whatever happens, happens, huh?
Yes, Master.
Master,
Yeah.
the IBM company has made a quantum computer recently. It's about hundreds of millions times faster than the supercomputer that we have now.
Huh?
So the AI tech might develop like humans. And in some AI movies, there are robots that seem to have feelings. My question is, if a soul can live in those robots with this kind of highly developed AI technology?
Ah. Okay. Possible.
Possible.
Possible that some soul want to occupy the robot and move around with it. Or some demons or some ghosts. Because sometimes ghosts, they even occupy some statues just to have somewhere to inhabit, you know? Or they occupy the trees, become tree gods and all that. The Buddha was one time a tree god, the deity of the tree. He told many stories about that. I didn't have time to read all that for you. So in the evolution of humans, we became many, many things and many beings, even trees and even rocks. Remember the story in the Surangama Sura, I have told you that even some of the substances from the moon or from the other planets fell down on the gold, and then it became some ghosts and some demons or some stuff. Don't remember? So if some essence or some substances could turn some piece of gold or rock into some living being, then anything is possible. Anything is possible with the robots. That properly some of the soul or wandering ghosts had taken up that robot to use. This body was taken up to use. It was dead already, cold and stiff. That's why my face has some imperfection, because the body already became stiff. My face, for example, this side a little different. Can use, okay? The soul is powerful, or some deities are powerful, and ghosts and demons, they can make use of them, and thus you feel like they have feeling. So some fear make it out of that. Maybe they know some of that. Maybe just imagination. Maybe from some true story. Okay?
Thank you, Master.
Yes, because if a soul or if a ghost occupy the robot, which he can make use of movements and all that, and the robot, if it's made so sophisticated as if a human, it's just only a material thing. Just like our bodies also are material things. The mind is the one that makes it move. The soul is controlling the mind, and the mind controls the body. So if the ghosts have all these conditions, then they can control the robot, you see, and make it live, just like a person, and has feeling, of course. Ghosts have feeling, because they have souls in them, and demons too. So it's possible, huh? Yeah. Is that your question answered?
Yes. Thank you, Master.
Okay, you're welcome. Your voice is different, very American. Any other questions? Woman, no questions?
No, Master.
No, too comfy. Sit there sleeping already after all these cakes, candies, and chocolate. How can you even move? I'm glad that you still sit there, looking polite. Yeah. Okay, then I let you go if you have no more questions. Let you sleep. Huh? Have a very good New Year's dream. Of cakes.
Thank you,
again.
Master. Happy
You're
New Year,
welcome.
Master.
Happy New Year,
Happy New Year, Master.
Happy New Year, better New Year. And thank you for all the hard-working years, and will be. Ciao, baby.
Thank you, Master.
Love,
We love you, Master.
love you too.
Love you, Master.
Yeah. Behave. Love you. Ciao.